Hi, I'm Panda, and this is an inside look into the making of my debut album, Pandemonium. So, with Miracles, I remember in high school, had this huge crush, super relatable, right? I am really bad about putting myself on a pedestal or something like that, or thinking that I ever have a chance to make my shots, you know what I mean? So with Miracles, it was this idea that it would be a miracle if I ever could get anywhere with someone in terms of a relationship. And so that was a huge stressor for me and all that kind of stuff. And it was at the time a huge part of my head. So and it made things crazy. And so I knew I needed to talk about that too. All the lyrics are about what that means to me if you were to ever somehow like me back. Writing Miracles 1, it was kind of thinking about that, like all the crazy things that have been going on in my life and how this one person could be there and make things easier and just the miracle it would be if I was with that person. With Miracles Part 1, the strings are in the beginning, and then I just have the chords from the chorus. This is a Looperman sample. It's a bunch of gospel girls that I pitch shifted downwards.
In this multi-dug friendships, all of a wish list.
Just 808 and kick and a really high reverb snare in the beginning, in the first verse.
Maybe I did it all wrong.
I wanted to isolate just my vocals and let that be light, and then this synthesizer that plays the chords. We got some percussive sounds here. Just no pattern to it whatsoever, just to be sound effects.
Maybe I need you, and that's what I've been through. Love is the issue, yeah.
On the right and left ear. And then I have the cello and my organ that plays the chords come in here in the hook section.
Cause I do it all for you. Whatever I go through, do it all with you.
I do a lot of sampling, but all of my MIDI stuff that I record in, I write all that stuff. I took that portion vocally right here.
Do it all for you.
And that's what I used for the pitch shift in this breakdown section. I wanted to do an instrumental breakdown. I knew that pretty early on. So it's just 808 and that pitch shift first, and some other sounds I pulled online. Got these pitched drums right here. It's it adds to the sound. This right here, that's actually just one breath sound, and then I looped it at the rate of 30-second notes. And then I have the gospel girls, I have that synth sound I brought up in the verses, and then the kick, same kick, but the rhythm is replicating a heartbeat. And I got this sound online of a guy saying, "What does the word love mean to you?"
What does the word love mean to you?
There's a feature where you can stretch a sound to fit the BPM of your project in Logic. So I applied that to this. No, I mean there's no BPM to this, but I did it anyways, and it slowed it down and made it fit. So.
What does the word love mean to you?
So that's part 1. I had been building part 2, but I didn't know what it was supposed to be for. I was still in the middle of all my motions for that, and I was writing and accidentally ended up in that same place. But I loved what 2 was, and so I just wrote and made that decision to make that part 2. When it comes to the sounds, I just wanted to make, like, I wanted to push the emotions the best way I could in terms of feeling and mood. I couldn't drop the idea of not doing part 2 because it's so similar to 1. I really liked both after I had finished those projects. So I put the hook in 2 just to see, and the idea of do it all for you, whatever I go through, do it all with you, whatever we go through, is like, when I wrote that in 1, I needed a hook for 2, and just putting it in both and connecting the songs in that way was like, yeah, I gotta do this because I don't want either to not make the cut. So I had to include both. For Miracles 2, again, I tried to structure it the same. Once I had realized I wanted to make it part 2, I was kind of building it independently when it started, but once I had made that decision, I restructured it so that it would kind of ride the same, just with different sounds. So we have the main chords right here. Again, all of these progressions is just from sitting at the keyboard and just working and trying to find something. So snap right there.
It's a 10-month endeavor. Just when I thought I was bound to.
Got the woo sound in the beginning.
Find the greatness in your pleasure. Ain't about the pressure, just to find the one who can weather all the good things.
This right here, I was looking for a sound to do. I was looking for ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, something to do that. And at first I thought, like, oh my god, that's terrible. But then I was like, I don't know, the trashiness to it and like the weird distorted feel was nice. So I kept that in there, and it actually was. I'm glad I made that decision. And then we have these 2 sounds entering. It's a synthesizer with an arpeggiator on it. All I know is it created like this really jumbled rhythm. And then there's this one. Together they just make this cool pocket that I really like. Panned right, left ear. Structured just like part 1, the first half of the chorus, nothing. Second half, we have the same lines from the first part.
Do it all for you, whatever I go through, yeah. Do it all with you, whatever we go through. Look past the mistakes, ignorance is forte.
And for the verse, I just took pieces out, put some back in. Like in the middle of the verse here, I took out hi-hats, took out a lot of extra percussive sounds, took out the piano.
But baby, here's what I need.
It just kept that synth there.
For the legacy, adventure, stay awake for the
memory. Hand in hand for the best scenes, as good as the bad times will ever be. A shoulder for convenience, arms around for your tears spent. Doing nothing with you is still a blood.
Because there was no like breakdown or anything, I wrote this second verse a little bit longer. And then we have the second chorus right here.
Everything, do it all for you. Whatever I go through, yeah. Do it all with you. Whatever we go through, do it all.
I got these like pad sounds layered the same MIDI region on different pad sounds. Really ambient, really wide in sound. I try to make the reverb fill a big space along with the kick going at a heartbeat sound. And then I brought up
What is the word
what does the word love mean to you? Brought that back in the ending here too. Just all like just try to make it unique as possible for this ending. That's part 2. I wanted to make them different from each other, and that like if I took the lyrics from them, they sound like different tracks. But then the emotions or kind of what I was trying to say to this person was augmented like the lyrics about that were augmented in the same way in both songs. They were supported in the same way by both songs. That choice about do I want to include this and that conversation I had to have with myself was that a difficulty writing about a person but knowing you can't have them is not a very fun thing to do. So it's not a fun concept, but it was a good concept, and writing about it was a good way to get it out. Miracles 1 came by pretty early on in my 4th year, in my senior year. And then I wrote Miracles 2 later on, and then had that conversation, put them together, and then they made the final cut towards the end. Thank you so much for watching this episode in the making of my debut album, Pandemonium. Stay tuned for the next one.